Welcome to the Drayway. Hey, I'm glad you're here. I'm Drayton Nay, your host. You have come at a great time because we reached over 40,000 subscribers. And that's all because of you guys, and I can't thank you enough. On our way to 50,000, here we go. But one thing I can tell you on this show, you're going to get the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help me. So let's get off and get started with the good show. Let's get ready. Let's go! Welcome to the Drayway. Look, I'm really happy you're here. Got a good show for you today because there's some things that we need to talk about, and it's been in the news a little bit. But I live here. I live in Las Vegas, technically Henderson, but I live right outside of Las Vegas, and I can tell you, the president's policies have been really a negative influence on what's happening here in Vegas. Now, I understand that a lot of people now want to pick on Vegas because things are expensive. And yes, there is no question in my mind that things have gotten a little out of hand. I think over the past few years, they've gotten a little greedy and they've asked for a little too much. And I think that's partly the problem. But I think Vegas is also trying to let people know at the same time, yeah, Vegas isn't a bargain anymore. Vegas wants people with money coming to Vegas. But the problem now is Vegas is about to crash. And when I say Vegas is about to crash, I'm talking about Vegas itself. I'm talking about the employees that own homes and condos, and the real estate market here in Vegas is about to crash. And it's about to crash because people are losing their jobs, because people are not coming to Vegas. And especially, I'll give you the number one country that comes to Vegas is Canada. 30% of all visitors from around the world are from Canada. You're talking about 1.4 million people from Canada visit every year. And I can tell you right now, that business is down 30, 40, maybe 50%. That business is way, way, way down. Because Canadians are like, no, no, you're not going to treat us like second class citizens and then want us to travel to the United States and spend our money. No, I'll pass this year. And that's what's going to happen throughout the country. That's what's going to happen in Florida. That's what's going to happen in New York City. It's wherever people want to visit. Tourism is already way down, and it's only going to get worse. So I'm experiencing it here in Vegas because I can see what's going on at the casinos. I can see what's going on in traffic in Vegas. Normally there's a lot more influx of people, but that's not happening right now. Traffic in Vegas is almost non-existent. And you would think that, people traveling, and coming in and renting cars, there'd be hundreds and thousands of rental cars on the roads. There isn't. The rental car agencies have plenty of cars. And that's simply because people aren't coming to Vegas. And what's going to happen to Vegas itself is a real estate crash. Yeah. Real estate prices in Vegas, ever since they dropped to the bottom in 2010, 2011, have been nothing but going up, 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 up. And from like 2017, 2018 to 2023, it was almost straight up. But now, from this point on, especially now that the selling season is over, selling homes in Vegas is going to be extremely difficult. As inventory rises now, because Airbnbs are, forget about Airbnbs. Airbnbs in Vegas, yeah, they're looking to sell. Hedge funds in Vegas, they're looking to sell. There is a sudden gorge of inventory here in Las Vegas. And that's probably not going to change, not for any time soon. At least for the next, 3 years, you're going to see inventory way over what it's been. And what I can tell you about real estate in this area for the next 10 years, 10 years, it's going to be bad. And it's going to be bad for one reason. This administration is going to last for another 3.5. And regardless of the next administration coming in, I don't know if they're going to be able to fix things quick enough before the pendulum swings back to Republicans. It just goes Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat. And Republicans are going to do nothing about raising wages. And this is the part that I just don't understand why people vote Republican. If you work a job, why are you voting for Republicans? Why? Why? If you work a job, you are not a Republican. If you work a job, you are not a Republican. If you own a company, you might be a Republican. But if you work a job, if you're not the owner, you are not a Republican. You're a Democrat. Or you're going to starve, because Republicans have zero interest in raising your wages. Your wages will not go up. And in case you haven't figured it out yet, in case you haven't seen it, prices keep going higher and higher and higher. And there's no point of you complaining about it if you vote Republican. If you vote Republican, you're voting to have your money taken from you. Just in the last 6 months that Trump has been president, you've lost a ton of money. The dollar's down 11% in just 6 months since he's been president. The dollar has gone zoot, straight down. Thank you, Mr. Trump. My money is less valuable. My money can buy less goods around the world. Thank you, Mr. President. Really? But this is what I need people to understand. If you work a job, you cannot be a conservative. You can't be a Republican, because they vote to keep your wages low. So if you work a job, why would you want to vote against yourself and less money? Why would you do that? Because that's exactly what you're doing. Because Republicans don't vote to raise wages. It's not a thing. It's not what they do. They're not on your side. They're on the side of the company owners. That's who that's who they depend on. That's who their bread is buttered with. You as a worker, they don't care about you at all. Not even a little bit. And some of you keep thinking, oh, I'm a conservative, I'm a Republican. Not if you work a job. Not if you work a job. And that's what they're finding out here in Vegas right now. In Vegas, we're finding it out right now. Thousands and thousands of people are losing their jobs, and many of them voted Republican. And you're losing your job because you voted Republican. That's exactly why. And more people are going to lose their job in Vegas. And we're about to have, over the next couple of years, it's going to happen over the next 2 years, a complete crash here in Vegas. Because the traffic isn't coming. The people aren't coming. The numbers are going down. And already, casinos are having to lay people off. And what does that mean for real estate in town? It means more and more people can't afford their mortgage. So yes, Las Vegas is starting to crash. And like I said, it's not going to be it's not going to happen in a month or 6 months. It's going to happen over the next 2-3 years. So stay right here on the Drayway. Let me know what you think in the comments, and keep watching the show. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, we got a ways to go to 50,000, and you guys can help me get there. So hit the subscribe button. And don't forget, there's a new Drayway every day. You get to hang out with me every single day. So hit the subscribe button and stay around for part 2 of the Drayway. I want to make sure I make something perfectly clear. I don't understand why we haven't done anything yet. And apparently we're not going to do anything. I mean, Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump were best friends. They were good friends. where Jeffrey Epstein was, so was Trump, often. But we don't seem to care. So my question is why are we going to? Why do we need the files? Why do we need the files? What for? If we're not going to do anything to Donald Trump, how are we going to do anything to anybody else? I mean, Donald Trump was literally there with Epstein. He was there with him. They were good friends for years and years and years and years. And we know he's on the list. We know for a fact he's on the list. And that they hung out and that they were at parties together and all kinds of stuff. We know. And guess what? Nothing. Nobody's doing anything. He's still the president of the United States, despite what we know, what he's done and what he's been involved in. Still the president. So what is it you want the list for? What is that going to achieve? What, we want to call some people out? Okay, so what? Now what? Now what? If we're not willing to do anything to Trump, then what's the point? We shouldn't be willing to do anything to anybody else. If we can't do something about Trump, what are we doing? I just need someone to explain it to me. I need someone to explain what we need, all the files, and if we're going to do nothing to Trump, and we already know that he was there with Epstein. We already know his involvement. We already know for a fact. And we're doing absolutely nothing about it. So my question to you is, why do we need the information? What do we need the list for? What do we need all this stuff for? What for? If we're going to do nothing to Trump. If Trump gets to slide by, because I don't know what it is with Republicans' fascination with young girls, but Republicans are really fascinated by really young girls. And no one seems to say anything about it. You know, what is it in Tennessee, or weren't they trying to pass marriage for 13, 14-year-old girls? You know, isn't that a southern state thing where they're trying to get the girls married off younger and younger? It seems the Republicans have a thing with young girls. And I guess everybody's okay with it because we now have a president that was with a known pedophile, and nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to want to do anything. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you want to see the files? Do you want to see it all? If we're going to do nothing to Trump, if we're going to do nothing to him, what's the point? Let me know in the comments. And don't go anywhere. Part 3 to the Dre Way coming up next. I want to talk about the Ford Motor Company because the Ford Motor Company doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. And I don't even know how they're going to stay in business. I literally have no idea how Ford is going to stay in business when they keep building cars nobody wants, especially expensive cars, really, really expensive Jeep Wrangler. Your Jeep Wrangler product is garbage. And year after year, people talk about what garbage it is. And year after year, you can't fix it. I don't understand that. I don't understand how, you can have some of the most brilliant people in the world in the automotive industry, and you can't figure out how to easily make a car and do it affordable. People don't want $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 cars. People want $25,000 cars. That's what they want. That's what America needs right now. Is cars that are $20,000 to $30,000. That's it. What can you do for us between $20,000 and $30,000? How can you start making cars and you make money and make a decent car for $20,000, $30,000? Because it's being done. It's being done elsewhere. So I know Ford can do it. I know you can do it. You just choose not to. You choose to be making trucks that are $80,000, $90,000, $100,000, $110,000. Who are these for? And if you haven't noticed, you have a lot full of them. You have all kinds of vehicles that are $80,000, $90,000, $100,000. Who are they for? How many people do you think can afford these expensive vehicles? Because they're on lots and they're not selling. But you know what would sell? All day long. A $25,000, $30,000 truck. Just make the very best truck you can for 25, 30,000 bucks. And you'll sell them like crazy. You'll sell them like crazy. They don't have to have all the bells and whistles. Just a good, solid utility truck with a radio and air conditioning. That's it. You don't have to heat the seats or any of all those bells and you don't have to get overly fancy. Just make a good, solid, sturdy truck for 25, 30,000 bucks, and watch them fly off the shelves. Watch people line up to buy that. But 80, 90, $100,000 trucks, guess what they're going to do? They're going to sit and sit and sit. So you know what I would do if I was Ford? I would be really good at one thing. Because right now, if I said, Ford, what are you really good at? You'd have a hard time telling me something that Ford is really good at. But wouldn't it be cool if Ford was really good at building a $29,000, $30,000 truck, or 25 or whatever? Wouldn't it be good to be able to say no one makes a better $30,000 truck than Ford? Ford makes a great utility truck for 30,000 bucks. That would be a great thing to be able to say, wouldn't it? And you could sell those $30,000 trucks, boom, 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 boom. I'm telling you now, people would line up for those things. I'm just afraid it might be too late for Ford, because Ford continues to make things that aren't affordable. And Ford, if you don't get your act together, you won't be around, because America has changed. America doesn't have the money for $80,000, $90,000 trucks. So the sooner you switch it up, the better off you're going to be. Because if you can't figure out real quick how to put good reliable vehicles on the road for $25,000, $30,000, you're going to be out of business. That's it for the Dreyway today. Let me know what you think in the comments. And don't forget, there's a new Dreyway each and every day. So hit the subscribe button and come hang out with me every day. What else have you got to do? Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow right here on the Dreyway.